It's really dark and cold. Very cold. Just a moment. It's a little too cold. Thank you. It was just too cold. I had to get something to wrap around me. It's very frosty. Very frosty and very cold. Actually, it reminds me of the frost giants. Yes, the frost giants are back. I was going to save this painting for another time, but why save it? It's so good. If I wanted to, I can always do another episode on this same painting just because I like it so much. This is another one of my favorite paintings. A painting about a frost giant. Really like this painting. It's really cool. This painting is one of my favorites. It really captures the essence, I think, of the frost giants, and not that this is what they had to look like, but it's my interpretation. And it's one that I favor. I like it, not because I think it's based on fact, but just I like the style. It's very cold. Oof, I feel like the ice is closing in, so let's get into this painting before I freeze. Definitely one of my favorites. I just pretty much like everything about it. You have certain parts that are real and certain parts that are very, very much about impressionism. Like the frost giant here. He captures kind of the primordial look that I wanted. You see him here and then he kind of fades into the night. See how he kind of fades into the night right here? Like he came out from another dimension. Well, I believe he came from the mountains, which there could be another dimension out there too, and the frosty peaks are within those mountains. But yeah, this is a painting I like. I was going to save it and show it to everybody later, but why? I could show it now, and if I really like it, I can always do another episode about the same painting in the future. Who's that? Who is that? Come over here, buddy. This is the one I showed in a previous episode. One of my favorites. The old Norse storyteller has warned people of the frost giants in the mountains. Definitely one of my favorites. I can always do another episode about that one too. Not tonight, it's this one. I don't know which one I like better. I go back and forth between the two. I really like this cottage. And then you got other cottages in the background. Oh yeah, this really captures the frosty mountains. His home, where he came from, perhaps. Then you got the moon. It looks kind of dreamy with the light circling it. The stars. I love it. You got realistic elements to this painting, and then you got your impressionism. Like how the light and how the moon looks, and then how the frost giant looks. As I just said, he fades into the night, fades into nothingness almost. Almost like he's supernatural in a way, just by how he fades in and out here. Well, might as well read this. I'll read it. The frost giant comes down from the mountains to a sleeping village. Cool. Spooky and dreamy at the same time. Really like this. A nice little addition here. It fits the episode. I'll borrow your candle, pal. I'll give it back later. Just sit tight. Well, here it is. Reaches out that hand to go inside to grab another Another victim, perhaps. Yeah, I really like the look. I really was, when I was a kid, I was fascinated with Greek mythology a little bit because of the movie Clash of the Titans, the original one in the 80s. One of my favorite movies. I had the toys, and that was really cool. And then as an adult, later on in my life, I started reading about Norse mythology. And I like that a little bit better. I still like both, but I was a little more fascinated with the Norse mythology. And then I learned about the frost giants. Even though I heard about them before, it really piqued my interest after I started reading about it. And I figured, gee, one day I want to do a painting with kind of my interpretation of what maybe the frost giants would mean to me, even though I'm just guessing as to what they would look like if I put them on the canvas. But yeah, this is really a good one. And obviously this other version, it's similar. That's the old painting that I showed. I like that a lot. This is a newer painting. The other one, I think I did it maybe 7 years ago, 6 years, maybe 5. This one was in the last 3 years, I think. Really like this painting. You got the mountains and then the peaks with ice on them. You got the stars. Gosh, I'd love to sleep under that. The stars and the mountains in one of these cottages. That would be cool. Really like it. The cottages in the background, I think there's 4 or 5 of them. Really cozy. Cozy until he comes down from the mountains. Just want to zoom in on these mountain peaks. I really like that. You can see here how the moonlight is hitting the peaks and the sides of these mountains. Right here, the shine. Over here too, the shine. Then you got your trees, evergreens, or whatever kind of trees would grow over there in Iceland or Norway or Sweden, Denmark, wherever this is. I suppose the frost giants can travel from peak to peak. Could be Russia, could be Poland, it could be maybe visit Transylvania once in a while, who knows. But yeah, the frost giants, I assume they're where it's really cold and frosty, like in one of the Scandinavian countries. Or yeah, this is really cool. This mountain in the background really adds the kind of atmosphere and mood that I want for a painting like this. Wherever you're at, are you getting ready for bed tonight? I hope this does not come and reach out for you while you're in your bed and grab you, take you into the mountains, and pretty soon you'll feel that cold air upon your neck and your face as you're being pulled into the mountains. Just kidding. The grass and the flowers. That's it. I like adding that touch, the grass with the flowers in there. It's almost like a dream, because even though there's realistic aspects like the stars and the mountains and other stuff, almost looks like it's not quite real. And when I was reading that Norse mythology, I always had it in the back of my mind that one day I'd like to do a painting about a frost giant. But I didn't want to make them too detailed like I would see in like a comic book or some of the art, particularly some of the modern art that I'd seen on TV and other places. It's just too busy. It seems like it's overdone and too detailed. But this has a charm to it. This, I think, captures the emotions and the elements, the primalness, the primordial atmosphere, rather than just putting reality on the canvas. Once again, I put what's behind the scenes, the emotions on the canvas, the drama, the fear, the excitement, the intrigue, whatever you want to call it, on the canvas rather than reality, although this has reality to it. Yeah, I gave this place a lot of character, I think, with the shape of the roof. Kind of wispy and kind of creamy, nice look in terms of the shape. Pleasant, charming little cottage that you could sleep in, waiting for the frost giant to come down the mountain. I can't remember if this was a tree right here or a waterfall flowing into this water. I think it's just part of the trees, actually. And then you got water coming from the mountain somewhere and then coming down into the valley, down here into the valley. He almost looks unreal, like he's supernatural. He's more of a representation of the primordial threat rather than the actual reality on the canvas. The blue, I really like the blue. It doesn't have as much blue as that older painting, but it has enough. It really has enough, I think. It does what I wanted it to do, which is give it that atmosphere and the same genre as the other painting. They could both be in the same category, but different. Either he's the same frost giant or his brother, with those frosty eyebrows and the nose and then the mouth and the lips. Kind of, I thought about it almost like it gave him a whitish type beard, like a light beard, which is a way to express what I wanted to express more. Kind of looks like a beard, or it's just frost. I can leave that open for interpretation. I'll zoom in on that face. Gosh, I like that. I can always do another episode about the same paintings in the future. If I really liked one particular episode or a particular painting more than normal, I can always go back to it. I can almost feel the snowflakes on my face now, coming down, and can almost feel the air, that cold air. I also thought about The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell when I painted this. Even though he looks nothing like the Thing in the movie, I couldn't help but think about that movie just because it's in the ice and snow. They're in Antarctica, so that was on my mind when I painted both of these paintings, actually. That was a great movie, and another influence, another inspiration as well. I love the music. That music was really good. It would probably fit with this painting too. In that movie, when one of the doctors was talking to Kurt Russell outside alone, and he was talking about the research that was done by the other doctor, Blair, and he was talking to Kurt Russell outside, and telling him that he was reading some of the notes and that the thing could have imitated a million life forms on a million planets. And you know, when he was inside the facility again later, when he was, I think he was reading something or writing something down, but the lights went out, and it was such a pretty blue when the lights went out, and then he had that candle and he was looking around in the dark. So that scene, something about it, I really liked. I really liked how it was shot, and the music went together with it so perfect. Thus, the candle. Yeah, one of my favorites. Goes back to a lot of the mythologies, even if it's not the same mythologies as what other people might be thinking of. It's similar enough to put it in that category. Definitely into the frost giant genre. I hope you guys like this painting and consider subscribing if you like this video. Like and subscribe, and the plan is to be back soon with another video for your entertainment at nighttime. So good night, everybody, and pleasant dreams.